Hey there, Arry the Stag fans, TR Tony here in the garage. This week we're off to Brazil, actually, South America, where we have a guy called Leonardo, who is no stranger to the channel, rebuilding a Triumph Stag that he's been working on for a little while on his own, without too much support in the country, which I'll talk about in just a moment. Incidentally, if you want to see a longer version of this, just go to our website and join up for our premium offering, where we've got longer films and more behind the scenes stuff on Arry the Stag. It's an opportunity to support Arry the Stag still further. And I nearly forgot, stay on to the very end, because Leonardo's got a specific part he's really desperate to get hold of and needs some help. Let's talk about that at the end of the film. But meanwhile, let's go over to Brazil, over to Leonardo. He sent in some pictures and some videos. Let me just talk you through where he's at with his project. Okay, so here is the Triumph Stag as it arrived at Leonardo's place to start working on. He'd had to chase it down by travelling quite a lot of mileage, I think, to get the thing in the first place, but he got it home. It's a Mark 1 with the manual overdrive facility, which is probably the best option you can kind of get. And I think once you see he's dusted it off and got it into his kind of carport, it came up quite nice. It did need a fair bit of body work, although this picture doesn't really do it justice. Actually, it looks better than perhaps it was when he got into it. And because he wanted to do a whole project, he thought, well, best thing is to split it down, take it all apart, and see what was left underneath, having got it all treated. There you can see the petrol tank and a rear bumper, the bonnet and the boot lid, as well as the front fender, which didn't look too bad actually. The corrosion on it is not too bad given the hot climate in which it exists. And slowly but surely, I think we've all related to this, things came off it, and whilst it was good to take everything off of it, someone had saved him a job, given that the engine was missing. I think you can see there through the grille and the bonnet aperture that the motor original Triumph V8 had been taken away before he bought it. So the interior was up to scratch, wasn't bad, needed a little bit of work obviously, but the carpets were there. It was complete in all the instrumentation, and there you can see the Mark 1 manual overdrive lever and the dashboard, which was really good. And he was very pleased that he managed to get hold of this car and discovered that it was an up together unit that he could work on. Now, here's the rub, and where it gets really interesting, because imagine that you are Leonardo. You've bought a Stag to repair. You're in the middle of Brazil. As we understand it, there was only ever 5 Stags that were registered in the country in the first place, and subsequently there's only 2 that we know of that are around today. So combined with that, massive import duties and challenges of getting stuff in from abroad means that Leonardo really had to use some initiative in terms of how he was going to do this repair and rebuild to get this Triumph Stag back on the road and into its normal drivable condition, part of which of course was the fact that it had no engine. And while someone had laid a spare wheel underneath the on top of the cross member there, as you can see in the engine bay, to keep the weight of the front down, he was in desperate need for a number of parts to get this car back up and running. So he used his initiative, and in the film that you can click to at the end of this video, you can see exactly what engine he opted for in the end. I won't steal my thunder, but he had to go on quite a journey to find the right car that was going to give him what he needed, both on the mechanical front and also on the running gear front, to make this car live again. Now, since that time, Leonardo has begun repairs of the car, and largely with the bodywork initially, which has come together over the last few months, and it is coming back together, as you can see here. And he's slowly but surely working through it and making some great progress, I think, given the challenges of getting hold of parts and equipment and replacement panels and all those little things that perhaps you and I take for granted by being able to pick up the phone or going online to order it, or even knowing people in the trade who are breaking Stags, that kind of thing, who've got that magical spare part. This guy is literally the other side of the world and trying to manage his own rebuild under his own steam, and we take our hats off him, we really do. Okay guys, so this is where we can all help Leonardo, potentially, if anybody can, and that is the fact that he is desperate to get hold of a replacement windscreen. During the rebuild process, as indeed happened to us with our UNY 49M Yellow Peril, the windscreen got broken, and we have in this country to try and get another windscreen when we're ready to refit. Now Leonardo has exactly the same problem, however trying to get hold of a UK manufactured or UK supplier windscreen replacement is so prohibitive in terms of the costs of postage and the costs of importation that he's almost thinking about getting one made locally by a glazing company that could actually do that job. So if any of you guys have got contacts or an idea on how you can help him, I'm sure he'll be very interested and all ears. All right guys, so hope we can help Leonardo out with his windscreen challenge. It is difficult getting those parts into the country, and he's very unsupported in terms of stag owners, unlike us over here in Europe. So let's see if we can help him out one way or the other. Now if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, just go to this video, click on this one, because Leonardo did a film back in about 2019 when the car was being first refettled.